Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Jamunatira Vanachari. Can you give a cushion to both of them? Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Shri Srimad Abhaya Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Questions or comments? Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulasi Devi Ki Samaveta Bhaktavrinda Ki Taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada's transcendental book distribution Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namane. Hare Krishna. Certainly a great honor to speak in front of my heroes. Adhikata Prabhu took me out on books when I was a bhakta. Yeah, you were in New York. So it's an honor to sit here and Jivan Mukta Prabhu and my Sankirtana Acharya, Brigupati Prabhu. So please kindly shower your blessings upon me that I may speak something that's bona fide and inspiring to the devotees. Also, Dhaneshwar Prabhu, thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. So we're going to be reading today from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 11, text number 17. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhratrivyam Enam Tat Adhabra Viryam Upekshaya Adethitam Apramattaha Guroho Harehe Charanam Upasana Astraha Jahi Vyalikam Swayam Atma Mosham Brativyamenam Tadadabhraviryam Upekshaya Yedhitam Apramattaha Guror Hare Sharanopasanaastro Jahi Vyalikam Swayamatma Mosham Bhratrivyamenam Tadadhabhraviryam Upekshaya Yedhitam Apramattaha Guror Hare Sharanopasanaastro Jahi Vyalikam Swayamatma Mosham Pratrivyamenam Tadadhabhraviryam Upekshaya Yedhitam Apramattaha Guror Hare Sharanopasanaastro Jahi Vyalikam Swayamatma Mosham. Please repeat. Okay. Brativyamenam tadadhabhraviryam Upekshaya yedhitam apramattaha Yahi Vyalikam Swayam Enam tadadhabhraviryam Guror Hare Sharanopasanaastro Jahi Vyalikam Swayamatma Mosham. Anyone else? Brativyamenam tadadhabhraviryam Upekshaya yedhitam apramattaha Sharanopasanaastro Jahi Vyalikam Swayamatma Mosham. Matajis? Okay, so word for word. Pratrivyam, the formidable enemy. Enam, this mind. Tat, that. Adhabhraviryam, very, very powerful. Upekshaya, by neglecting. Adhyetitam, unnecessarily increase in power. Apramattaha, one who is without illusion. Guroho, of the spiritual master. Harehe, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Charanam of the lotus feet. Upasanam, astraham, applying the weapon of worshipping. Jahi, conquer. Vyalikam, false. Swayam, personally. Atmamosham, which covers the constitution position of the living entity. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: this uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O King, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care. Purport. There is one easy weapon with which the mind can be conquered: neglect. The mind is always telling us to do this or do that. Therefore, we should be very expert in disobeying the mind's orders. Gradually, the mind should be trained to obey the orders of the soul. It is not that one should obey the orders of the mind. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that to control the mind, one should beat it with shoes many times just after awakening, and again just before going to sleep. In this way, one can control the mind. That is the instruction of all the Shastras. If one does not do so, one is doomed to follow the dictations of the mind. Another bona fide process to abide strictly by the orders of the spiritual master and engage in the Lord's service. Then the mind will be automatically controlled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed Srila Rupa Goswami, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. When one receives the secret devotional service by the mercy of the Guru and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's real life begins. If one abides by the orders of the spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, he is freed from the service to the mind. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 5th canto, 11th chapter of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, entitled Jada instructs King Rahugana. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utafpatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishyamamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savathutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsya He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishamebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamanati Namane Nijaguru Hari Vanya Krishna Chitto Vichinto Parihita Pitrigeha Dyanda Sangsara Kupaha Prabhu Bhajana Sukabdo Majjayan Swam Savishvo Bhuvijayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamanati Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmir Yasya Chivakshasi Yasyasya Hridaye Samvit Tam Nrisimha Maham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukum Karti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yet Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So this, actually I planned on speaking on the verse you spoke on this morning, Prabhu. So I thought I'm going to take a nap, wake up, and prepare for another verse, another class. But then I did that, and then we had a disturbance in the temple, so we had to throw it out. So sorry, I didn't. Krishna kind of threw me off on this one. So yeah, I'm still going to try my best. So I just thought I could speak on this verse, because this verse is a very important verse to help us control our mind. Because Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, the mind can be our greatest friend or our worst enemy. And in most of our cases, our mind is our worst enemy. And especially when we're out on book distribution, there is no one more discouraging than the mind. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that by nature, the mind is a non-devotee. That our mind is a non-devotee. That every freaking thing that our mind suggests, everything that our mind suggests is non-devotional. Therefore, one should learn to strengthen the intelligence. One should learn to strengthen the intelligence and be focused on the orders of the spiritual master in order for one to actually be able to transcend the prison house of the mind. The mind is always as covering our eternal constitutional position. What is our constitutional position? Jiva Swaruphoy Nityere Krishna Das, Krishna Tatashta Shakti, Beda Bed Prakash. That the eternal constitutional position of the living entity is to be a constitution, is to be an eternal servant of Krishna. And then it's made of Tatashta Shakti, which means that it could either be on the Antaranga Shakti or the Bahiranga Shakti. The mind, this living entity, could take shelter of the external energy of Krishna, or could take shelter of the internal energy of Krishna. So it's very important that for those who want to distribute books, they should learn to take shelter of the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's a very important thing. If one does not take shelter of the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is sure to fall down. One may be able to put on a show for some time, but you cannot put on a show all the time. And at a certain point of time, when we do not take shelter of the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we will fall down. We have heard of many examples of people doing this, and we are seeing in front of our very eyes examples of great devotees who still go out on book distribution every day, Adhikata Prabhu, Bhigupati Prabhu, every day going out on books for the past 5 decades. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. How are they able to do this? By taking full shelter of the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I remember being in Los Angeles, for the first time. That was like a dream come true, actually. Going to LA, ISKCON LA, and seeing Shwas Prabhu, Bhigupati Prabhu, and all the devotees there. And I remember chanting japa for the first time with Bhigupati Prabhu, and he was chanting his rounds, and then he just took the Bhagavad Gita and he embraced it. And he really embraced it, and he was, he read something and he embraced it, and he was feeling so, and I was thinking, wow, Vishnu Prabhu and myself were sitting next to each other and thinking like, wow, if I could just be like that one day, that I could feel so much ecstasy that, I would be able to embrace it and actually get so much, so inspired. But just by seeing this, I was able to understand that the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually what guides every book distributor out there. Because ultimately, this entire material world is a training ground. It's a training ground, for the living entity to change their criminal mindset. This is an attitude correctional facility. We have a bad attitude. And what is the attitude that we have as conditioned souls? Ishwaroham aham bhogi, siddhoham balavan sukhi. That I am the supreme controller. I am the all-powerful. I am perfect. I'm so amazing. Everything about me is amazing. And as long as we walk around in this material world thinking we're the controllers and we're the doers, we will be destroyed. We will be finished. But the minute we understand that we're meant to be eternal servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead by following the orders of the spiritual master, then at that point of time, we can actually learn that we are just humble servants in the hands of the Supreme Personality of God. And the minute we forget it, especially when we're out on books, the minute we forget it, then we're completely doomed. We're completely destroyed. And I had personal experience of this, and I didn't reveal it to anyone until this morning. I finally told it to my spiritual master. It was like kind of a repressed memory. But I remember when I was in Chicago, we had gone to pick up a traveling Sankirtana van, and I thought that, okay, we're there, we might as well, I could try to break the world record today. Actually, I try to break the world record every day, but that day I thought I should really try to do it. So I remember I went to the spot. I was a little bit late, but I started a little late, but then the book started flying out. And at that point of time, the world record was 28 Srimad-Bhagavatam sessions, 2,002 books in one day. So I thought, okay, this maybe it's possible, maybe it's not possible, but let me give it a shot. And then I remember I started off at around 11:30, and then in 2 hours, I was already distributed 15 Srimad-Bhagavatam sessions. I thought that's great, and that the Sankirtana spot was open and available all the way till 9 o'clock. I thought this is like a piece of cake, we got this, yes, I'm so awesome, I'm so great, I got this, this is so good. And at that point of time, I kind of forgot that I'm the servant of my spiritual master, that he's the one who's actually distributing the books, And the minute I thought like that, from 1:30 p.m. all the way, and I was thinking about this, all the way till 6:30 p.m., no one took a single book from me. Suffering. Like, you want to know what suffering is? That's real suffering. Can you imagine just like doing 15 Bhagavatams and like, okay, yeah, I'm just halfway there and just 2 hours in, I'm the champ, I'm the king. And I remember I was standing there, I was trying to distribute books, and the minute I forgot it, like, I kind of, okay, I kind of got this indication, okay, try everything on your own strength. Let's see how strong you actually are. Try everything on your own strength. And I was trying every line, every trick, everything that I possibly could know, every trick that I've possibly used. It was all just falling back at my face. And I was thinking, what the heck is going on? I remember Vishnu Prabhu called me. He's like, are you still distributing books? Like, what happened? Are you going to break the record today or not? Like, what is this? Because I told him, Vishnu, wait, maybe if we go to Chicago, watch, maybe I'm going to do it, And I thought, I am going to do it. Yeah. Gunai karmani ahankara vimudhatma karta hameti manyate. I remember I was thinking, yes, I'm going to do this. I am going to distribute these books. Watch, yes, I'm so awesome. And then I was just completely smashed. And I had I only had 2 options. Either like I dishonorably leave the spot and like start driving back to Atlanta, which I'm too egotistical to do, and too narcissistic to do. I thought, no way, I can't do that. I'm too puffed up for that. And then I thought the other option is to just like stick it out there and honorably like, hey, at least I tried, At least, and I thought I'll do that. But then again, at that point of time, I thought, I'm so embarrassed right now, even for me to like stand here. There's nothing else left for me to take shelter of but the lotus feet of my spiritual master, the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, the lotus feet of Krishna. I remembered that, and while all this was going on, I had this realization that if I think I am the doer, I am doomed. And then there's this really amazing quote of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where he says that the definition of humility is the absence of the enjoying spirit. That's the definition of humility. That the minute we understand that the minute the enjoying spirit leaves that of the living entity, then at that point of time, then with the living entity is actually humble and can actually be in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly through the Guru Parampara. So I remember I was thinking like this, that, okay, I have nothing else left to take shelter of. I realized that I'm not the one doing the books. And I started to seriously pray to Krishna. I started to pray to my spiritual master, like, I'm really sorry. I really got puffed up. I understand I'm not the doer. And, I started to establish myself in that consciousness of simply being the servant. I was simply paying for the potency to come through, and I just wanted to be a transparent via medium. And then in the matter of 2 hours, the minute I realized that, then all of a sudden I started thinking, even though I'm suffering, I had this realization that Gaurangera Ratika Shobha Jagajana Manaloba. That the arati of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaurangera Ratika Shobha, this arati that's being performed of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is enlivening the entire world. Gaurangera Ratika Shobha Jagajana Manaloba is enlivening the entire world. And when I realized this, that this is the arati of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we're actually performing, that we want to offer a garland of flowers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we want to offer a garland of flowers unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Spiritual Master. We want to offer the garland of flowers. But sometimes, we see all of these flowers, this is made with so much love and devotion. To our mundane eyes and senses, we can see that this flower withers away. All this withered away. I remember listening to a lecture of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, where he says that what we really need is to offer a garland of jivas unto the spiritual master in Krishna. So I thought, what is this? Lord Chaitanya is wearing the garland, Vanamala. What's that line? Kore Jalamala. No, he wears, Vanamala is also there in the Gauratik song anyway. I'm not able to remember it right now. But I was thinking, okay, what's better to offer to, what do you say? Gala Deshe Vana Mala, that's right, Gala Deshe Vana Mala, Kore Chala Mala. That, that what is better to offer to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than a garland of jivas? What is better to offer to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than garland of jivas? Then I just made that as my goal. I just decided that, okay, this is what needs to happen. I need to get out of the way and just have a single point of attention to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to please. And then in a matter of 2 hours, then I went from 15 Bhagavatam sets to 34 Bhagavatam sets. It was almost as though like a floodgate of mercy had just opened. And, the books were flying out. And then at the end of the day, I ended up distributing 3,004 books in one day. And I was really surprised. I was really thinking that this is, I'm finished. But then at that point of time, when I realized that I'm not the doer, this is actually Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It's actually Lord Chaitanya's mercy upon me that this is even happening. And I got out of the way. And at that point of time, the floodgates opened up again. And from that point of time, I had this very stark realization that that I am not the person distributing these books. I'm not the person. I've never distributed a single book in my life. It's all the mercy of my spiritual master. He's the one who's actually distributing the books, not me. And I had full realization of it that day. And every time that I go out and I try to do whatever little that I can on book distribution, I always remember that I am not the one distributing these books. I'm not. We just have to get out of the way for the mercy to flow through. By focusing on the order of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada said that there is no doubt about it. To distribute books is our most important activity. Prabhupada said this. So if this is our most important activity, we should focus our mind upon this. Prabhupada revealed to us that in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 41, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekiha kurunandana bahu shakasya nantasya buddhayo vyavasayinam. That, the disciple's duty, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, in his commentary, he writes that, let the whole material world burn down. Let anything happen. But no matter what, I will always focus on serving the order of my spiritual master. I'm paraphrasing. But this is what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that no matter what happens in this world, I will always serve. I'll always serve the lotus feet of my spiritual master. And that should be the goal of one's life. Especially as a brahmachari, especially being in the position that I'm in, the brahmachari only has one duty in his varna and his ashram. The one duty that the brahmachari has is acharyopasana. What is acharyopasana? Acharyopasana is worship of the acharya. It's service to the acharya. That's the only duty of a brahmachari. That's the only duty. So I thought, what better thing is there than to serve the acharya? We're so fortunate reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam, we're distributing these books. There's the most amazing thing in the whole world. The most amazing thing in the whole world. It way surpasses the beauty of anything else that we can actually see. There's no need to be allured by anything else. No matter how beautiful a person may seem, no matter how beautiful the opposite sex may seem, are they more beautiful than the Srimad-Bhagavatam? If we think so, then we need to chant more Hare Krishna. But they're not more beautiful than the Bhagavatam. You stay with the same person of the opposite sex long enough, you'll find them super irritating and you don't want to hear them. And you just say, yes dear, yes dear, yes dear. But if the Bhagavatam, the more time we spend reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam, the more time we spend with these beautiful books, the deeper and deeper it becomes. In the material world, relationships do not become sweet over time. And even if they become sweet over time, it's temporary. But with our relationship with the Bhagavatam, becomes sweeter and sweeter and sweeter as time goes on. There is a ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. Nigamakal paturo galitam phalam shukamukadam rata dharva samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavakaha. That this Srimad-Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic literature. There's nothing better than this. And all expert and thoughtful men should relish the nectar of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. I've been reading the Bhagavatam for about 9 years now, and it just becomes so ecstatic every time I read it, every time I read different sections of it. It just becomes more and more and more awesome. It becomes more amazing. And I'm sure the devotees who've been reading the Bhagavatam for many decades, what is your experience, if you'd like to share? Does it become sweeter, or it's like, oh man, this again? You get more... Yeah. Adhikar Prabhu? Yeah. 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 Chaitanya Charitamrita Nitya Kuru Pan Ya Hoite Premananda Bhakti Tattva Gyan. It becomes sweeter and sweeter. It's amazing. Yeah. Gaur Prabhu.
Each time you go back to Prabhupada's books, compared to, let's say, the first time you read them, it's like reading them again for the first time because you've had life experiences, you've received some purification, so you're seeing the Shastras in another light that you never saw them before.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu.
Doesn't spell out everything, but everything's in the Hare Krishna mantra.
Yeah.
If you chant the Hare Krishna mantra without offense, you experience everything. You experience pure love of God and your relationship with Krishna, etc. It's like that with the Bhagavatam. It's a mantra. This is mantra. It's giving information, but everything is embedded within those, sound vibrations of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And the more deeply we go into it, the more you meditate, the more time you spend associating with the Bhagavatam, the more that's revealed to you. Just like the closer you come to chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offense, the more that's revealed to you. And I kind of had that experience that when I asked that question about the 4 Kumaras. I just, I was reading that section, and I just became fascinated by that. Wow, the 4 Kumaras, because it seems like they were already devotees of Krishna even before, and then they had that experience where they smelt the fragrance of the tulsi leaves, and so, it becomes more and more meaningful as you go on, and you realize what Mukunda was saying. It's not explicit. The more deeply you go into it, the more is revealed to you.
Yeah. Anyone else who've been studying the Bhagavatam for many decades? Want to say anything? Okay. So anyway, the Bhagavatam becomes more and more ecstatic as the time goes on, because this is the ultimate shelter. I remember there was one time in my, when I was brand new, everything was actually like crashing, like the temple president, was... Anyway, I was in a really it's a good spiritual situation because I was still practicing, following, and doing everything in the association of brahmacharis. But so many things were going wrong, and so much like loss of faith, so many things were happening, in a particular place that I was in at that point of time. I remember I wrote to my spiritual master and I asked him, what should I do? And then he told me this thing. He told me, no matter what happens in your life, simply take shelter of your bead bag and your book bag. It's a very, bead bag, and just take shelter of your bead bag and book bag. These are just 6 words. But they were so potent and so powerful that I still, no matter what happens, no matter what goes wrong, we'll always have a bead bag, and we'll always have a book bag or book dolly or book truck, right? Or we can have the book van or book whatever, but book warehouse. But no matter what happens, we can always take shelter of the holy names of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada's books, both by reading them, by distributing them, and by living by them. And by doing such a thing, a person can, we can understand that what is really eternal. Of all the things that are happening in our life, what is eternal? What's actually eternal is the holy name of Krishna. What's actually eternal is the Srimad-Bhagavatam. What's actually eternal is the teachings of the Guru Parampara. What's eternal is our relationship with our spiritual master. That is what's eternal. Nothing else is eternal in this world. So many things will come and go, our jobs, our bodies, our family, all this and all that. So many situations may change, so many things may go wrong. But these 2 things are eternal. We can always take shelter of our bead bag and book bag, no matter where we are in this world. No matter where we are in this world. It's always there. These things are always there. So it is a duty. It is a duty of every disciple to follow the orders of the spiritual masters. It's the duty of every disciple to take to the instructions of Srila Prabhupada very seriously. It's a duty, because by following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, by following the instructions of Prabhupada's disciples, and by following their instructions, we actually experience the greatest nectar that we would not experience anywhere else. this nectar of Srimad-Bhagavatam, the nectar of distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, far surpasses anything that's available in this world. We can go and try to take the greatest intoxication. We can try to take the greatest of everything in this world and just get really into it. We may have thought so many things and we would have really gotten into it, but it's nothing compared to the bliss of actually experiencing reciprocation with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Brahma says, actually, Krishna says to Lord Brahma in the Brahma Samhita, Yadrishi Shraddha Siddhir Bhavati Tadrishi. That to the degree of one's faith, to that the amount of faith that a person has, that person will have equal amount of reciprocation in his siddhi, in his perfection. Yadrishi Shraddha Siddhir Bhavati Tadrishi. Then the more we have faith that this is actually the real thing to do, there is nothing better to do, there's nothing better to say than this, there's nothing better to give our lives to than the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books, then we will actually feel very happy. And I was thinking a lot about what Brigapati Prabhu was saying today, that it's also technique, like you were saying, then don't just go in the kitchen and be sincere, but there's also technique, there's also all these things. And this is very important, that we should certainly have a strong sadhana, and we should certainly be very strong in our spiritual life. We should, no matter what, we should chant our 16 rounds, we should attend Mangalarti, we should read Prabhupada's books, we should only eat Krishna Prasadam. This is a very, these days is like a very amazing thing for people, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Vishaira anna kaile malin habeman. Malin anna kaile nahi Krishna smaran. That if we eat grains cooked by non-devotees, then our mind becomes like stool. Lord Chaitanya says that if we eat grains cooked by, this means that, we should not simply go to the store and buy some bread cooked by some random karmi. Everything we eat, we should cook and we should offer to Krishna. Of course, fruits and milk are an exception to that. But everything that we cook, everything that we eat, anything that is cooked, we should first offer it to Krishna. But if we don't do this and we eat whatever we feel like, then we will certainly not have the potency to distribute Prabhupada's books. We will certainly not have the potency. The potency comes from strictly following. Like Prabhupada said, we must be the pure devotee of the rules and regulations. So this is a very important thing, what we eat. Is very important. So this is really important for a person to have strong sadhana. But technique is also there. But more important than technique is the sadhana. That's why, I remember one of my godbrothers, who's the president of the Dodge the Streets program, once said that, it is not what you say, it is what you pray. And it's true. He used to distribute books back then. And he said, it's not what you say, it's what you pray. And it is very true. It's not what you say, it's what you pray, but it's also important sometimes what you say. So I was thinking I could, tell the devotees some of the things that we say in order to help them. Can you get this up there? And you can, I have the Bhagavatam. You just get this up there. Some of the things, and of course, like Brigapati Prabhu says, we always stop people with a compliment. Like, for example, he was saying, oh man, I really love your hair. And we also, and especially in Atlanta, when we see the Matajis with, I don't know what that's called. Weave, okay. When we see the Mataji, the weave or braids or whatever, and we tell them, wow, miss, I really love your hair. How do I get mine like that, And then they say, oh, you first you got to grow it out. I say, oh my God, miss, you give the best advice. You really gave me the best advice. Thank you so much. And then, we have so many different kinds of compliments, One of my favorite lines is, this is actually Chandan Acharya Prabhu's line. He says, excuse me, my man, when I see you, I feel like you got an inspiration that don't got an expiration, bro. Wow, I feel that power, I feel the energy, and we dab them up, and that's so cool, man. And we see them wear like a necklace. This I got from Sandipani Muni Prabhu. He says, is this for meditation or for decoration? And they say, what do they say? Wow, bro, these books are meant for that, dude. And then we start them with a compliment, and then whatever they say, whoa, my man, you like knowledge and happiness? Because everyone says yes. Very rarely someone says no. But most of the time people say, oh yeah, I love knowledge and happiness. Oh my man, I got something special for you. And then we usually hand them this, or we show them the Bhagavatam. And we tell them wow, my man, this is the highest knowledge, bro. See, let me ask you a question. I always thought about this then. We should be preaching the absolute truth straightforwardly and not not like make any this or that. So I thought, let's preach the absolute truth. And I thought, how can I make the philosophy as simplified as possible and still like, get the message across and not sound like a Bible basher or something like that. So then, we tell them, wow, my man, excuse me, bro, like, do you like to be happy? Do you like to be happy, right? And what does everyone say? Yes. Do you like to be happy sometime or all the time? There's all the time. Most people say all the time. Some people say sometimes. It's like, wow, bro, that's deep, man. No matter what they say, wow, man, you're like, have you ever seen that ocean, bro? You're deeper than that ocean, bro. That's freaking amazing. And then we say, bro, like, you like to be, does happiness come from outside or inside? And then whatever they say, inside, outside, like, and then inside, like, bro, you're the real one. Outside, like, bro, you're on fire today, bro. Inside and outside, you're a freaking philosopher. And then, we tell them, wow, bro, like, does happiness come from matter or spirit? And most of the time, people say spirit, like, wow, bro, like, that's deep. And then some people like, I never thought about that. Like, don't you think it's time for you to think about that, my man? It's like, yeah, you're right. So that's why, bro, we're giving everyone these books. And no matter if they say from matter, I say, dude, you're like a freaking genius, bro. Check this out, man. No matter what, they say, like, wow, you're like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And then, like, we give them the books, and then we tell them, see, bro, like, these books are like really awesome. They help you tap into your inner happiness. And Tupac, Nelson Mandela, Will Smith, Sean Smith, like everyone. Sean Smith is Shashi Shekhar's old name, and they happen to know who Sean Smith is too. So Tupac Shakur, yeah. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, yeah. Will Smith, yeah. Sean Smith, yeah. Muhammad Ali, all the brothers at the Baghdad Gita, bro. I don't say, I say Baghdad Gita. They all read the Baghdad Gita. And bro, like, and then especially if they're black, I tell them, yo, my man, God is spiritually black, right? And they say, bro, yeah. I say, bro, let me tell you something. He's not just black, he's also musical, bro. He plays a flute, bro. This book, bro, helps you understand the pastimes of the spiritually black God, bro. This one's got King Rigger in it, bro. This one helps you understand about King Rigger. The king of the Riggers, King Rigger right here, bro. This is the highest knowledge for you, bro. You got to read this knowledge, bro. And then, like, and then sometimes, we give them the books and like, bro, like, you got to read this. And then, it always comes down to the closing, So then I tell them, bro, can I be honest with you, why I stopped? And like, there's like a few things we change up sometimes. We tell them, like, one of the things I tell them is like, yo, bro, when I see you, this is like a Karmi line from a song that I used to know, which just popped up in my mind one day, and it just started working. So I just thought, like, I should use it. We tell them, bro, why? But why I want you to take these books? They're like, why, bro? I say, bro, when I see you, I feel like you always had a passion for flash, and before you had it, you close your eyes and imagine, bro. And they're like, oh my God, bro, I'm a god this, bro. How much is this anyway, bro? And then we tell them, dude, like, how much do you think they sell books like this in a store like Barnes & Noble? Because you look pretty noble. And then they say, I don't know, like 20 for that one, 30. Exactly, bro. They sell the whole thing for literally $500, bro. The whole set, bro. These books, bro, they sell for like 300 on like during Thanksgiving, bro. Like, this is like 300, bro. But because we're monks, we get them directly from India. The whole thing literally takes us 59, bro. Can you please give 59 and make it shine, my man? Come on. And we tell them we take Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay, Zelle, and all this stuff, bro. Just hook us up, dap us up, my man. Show some love. Then show some love, man. Show some love. And then they end up taking the books, end up buying the books. And that was one of the ways we actually do it. It works. It works all the time. It's just being like really powerful. And I have a lot of lines for the black folk, but for the white folk, I only have like. For the men, I have 3 lines. For the women, I only have 2 lines, okay? So for the women, it's like really like, I'm honestly scared of them. To completely honest, I'm really like, whew. Especially on the south side in the airport, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. But, for the Matajis, and I had this revelation just recently. During the Taylor Swift concert, we were distributing books, and everyone, all the Matajis were like walking, and they're all trying to look like they were like, I don't know, I know Taylor Swift, but like, like teenage girls like going to a party, even if they're like 50 years old, they're trying to look 15 and wearing all the pink, sparkly pink, like baby pink or whatever the heck they call it. And they're all wearing that, and I thought like, I got a line for the white women, bro. And like there were like a couple of white Matajis walking by. I told them, Miss, all of you look like the next Taylor Swift. And they, oh my God, thank you, man. And then I showed them the books. I told them, and each of them, no, out of 3 of them, 2 of them bought the Sapta. Both of them bought the Sapta. Rishi said, like, wow, that's so amazing. And then, like, if they do not look anything at all like Taylor Swift, then we tell them, Miss, are you a yoga master? But that's all we got for the white women. I'm sorry. Other than that, we have nothing going on for us. And for the white men, we have a few like, wow, my man, you look like the guy from Top Gun. That's like that's like an old school line I've been using since New York. My man, you look like the guy from Top Gun, my man. And then what was amazing was in the tattoo convention. Not tattoo. Where were we? Who was in the Nally? Where were we? No. Comic-Con, yeah, we were in Comic-Con. There was a guy actually dressed like the guy from Top Gun. Like, wow, my man, you like the guy from Top Gun, bro. And then, if it's like a guy with a beard, I said, bro, you look like a Hulk Hogan, man. And then if you see a big guy, buff guy with like a little beard and he's bald, I said, bro, you look like Stone Cold Steve Austin, bro. And like, we have different lines for them, and it works. And then I recently realized what really works with people, if there's a white guy with a little hair and has glasses, say, man, you look like Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. I said, wow, do I really? Actually, he looks like a classic white guy, Tim Cook, So you can say, wow, my man, you look like Tim Cook. And then it really works. It's worked so many times. It's amazing. But we just say that, and it just somehow the other, it just works. And for the Indians, we have like a whole other thing going on. We always give them Guru Prasad. We don't give them any Prasad. If you tell Indians that we're going to give you Prasad, they don't want Prasad. But if you tell them, try this, trust me, it works. Right? Charan Deep, am I right? You saw it with your own eyes. That if you tell them Prasad, they don't want to take it. But if you tell them it's Guru Prasad, that's the technique, that's the secret. And we have like our own cute bowl with like, and we have the classic Hindu Prasad. What's it, you want to, I don't know, would it be like too much if I ask one of you all to get in? Yes? Okay. Okay, all right, I won't ask you to do it. But I should have thought about this before. Okay, but anyway, we give them Guru Prasad, and when we say Guru Prasad, they're like, they all just stop, like something happens to their mind, like straight, Guru, Guru. And we give them the prasad, and then like, we have like the whole thing, like, we're like coming from the temple, we have like a pamphlet, which has like our deities that we want to have in the future. We have Narasimhadev and we have something else, and we tell them so many things, like, we are preaching to so many people, we're feeding so many people prasadam, like, and we distributing these books. Why don't you give a nice donation and buy these books and help the temple, and we'll pray for you every year. Please do it. And they do it. So many of them do it. It actually works. It's really amazing. But we have all these different techniques which genuinely work, and I've seen it happen so many times. Our Bhakti Trace, is he here? Oh, he's here. Okay. Last marathon, Prabhupada, he distributed 23 Srimad-Bhagavatam sets. How many bhaktas come off the street and distribute 23 Bhagavatam sets? But Bhakti Trace, he did it. It's really amazing. It's I was shocked, like, this guy's a bhakta. I wish I could do that when I was a bhakta. But anyway, I guess he's got a good association, so he's able to do it. So we see this, that these kinds of things are able to work so well. They're able to work so well. And because these techniques work so well, we kind of make sure that we have the spiritual backing behind it. Otherwise, it'll just, melt down and go into something else. And, I had some, Nally, I sent you some videos. Do you think you can put them up? Or they're on your phone? Oh, you're streaming it. Trace, are you connected? Huh? I'll just send you some things on WhatsApp. I just wanted to show like some of the kind of people that we meet. First, I wanted to show like a classic bread and butter. The Mataji's video, can you play that? So this is how most of this temple was built, okay? This is your classic clientele in Atlanta. Yeah, go ahead. Is the audio on? Can you bring it close? Pause it, like, not the lecture, but yeah. Bring the whole thing a little closer. This is our bread and butter. Oh, it's to the wall. What happened? Oh my. Nally, every time you touch. Did he really? You actually did. Did he unplug it? Okay. So this is our class. This, because of Mataji's like this, she's representing like most of our customers here. It's because of her, this temple is here, and people like her. So, this is our, because I remember I was meeting with my Guru Maharaj, and, there were like some of the Indian body devotees, they had come and they were like, Maharaj, we went out on books and we saw these people, they had tattoos and, they just like, wearing not such nice clothes, Maharaj, and they're walking around and we tried to distribute books, but it was so hard. I told him, Prabhu, that's like an average American. Like, what are you talking about, That's just how they are. Like, get out of Patel Brothers, come on. And then, anyway, so this is how most of the temple was built. This is our clientele. Trace, you could. Thank you, Chaitanya. That's our main, like, that's our, am I lying? Black Matajis, they're like our best customers, let's be honest. Huh? Bread and butter, frankly speaking, that's our bread and butter. That's how we get it. But, we can get into that just a little bit later, okay, just a little bit later. But yeah, we'll play some videos a little bit later. Probably you can sit down. I want to say a few more techniques here, and so one of the things which really blew my mind, and I was really thinking about this, is like the starting of distributing Bhagavatam sets on the street. I thought like Saptarishi is really awesome and it's really cool and, it's epic, right? It's like most devotees are able to do this, Saptarishi, and that's our claim to fame in Christian life, I guess. Distributing this Saptarishi set. And it's really awesome, and so many devotees have learned to, distribute these books and do this thing. But the Bhagavatam, that's where the real nectar is at. Like when you meet someone and you get $300 out of them, that's like, there's only so much fluff that you could have, At that point of time, we really got to like go to the stuff part of it. Because again, we say so many things, but if we are not praying, so many people ask, what do you say? So few people ask, what do you pray? That's a really important thing to know, like, what is the source of it all? I remember I was really thinking about this, and the first Bhagavatam that I'd ever done to a Westerner, actually, was in New York City, and I think I have a picture of that place. I'm going to send it to you if I find it. But, I remember that morning, my spiritual master had sent me, oh yeah, okay, I found it. Trace, you can pull this up. My spiritual master had sent me an email saying that, if you simply distribute Srimad-Bhagavatam sets on the streets of the Western world, you will change the world, or something like this, something along those lines, that you will change it. I remember I came across this Mataji. She was walking by. This is the first person I had ever shown the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita set to. And then this is in New York, and that's Uran, that's Bhakta Uran. He was different back then. So she was walking by, and I told, oh my God, miss, like, I did the whole yoga, because the Taylor Swift thing was just now, like, for the past 8 years, I've been using, you look like a yoga master for every white Mataji. So, and then actually, Matsya taught me another line which I really mess up, golden girls, right? What? I really mess this up, and I use it at the, okay, so when you see older white women go by, you tell them you look like golden girls. Or you look like the golden girl. Anyway, I've said it to many young women, and they got really fried out with me. So I thought I should, stay out of this one big time. So, like, anyway, they get really egotistical about that. So anyway, so this Mataji was going by and said, wow, miss, you look like a yoga master. And then they're like, actually, I do yoga. I said, oh my God, really? Wow, amazing. And then I started showing her these books, and I don't remember what I exactly told her, but I remember that the whole thing got over. I just remember one part of it. I remember that the whole deal got over in like 45 seconds to a minute. That's the first time I'd even met Mukunda Datta Prabhu, actually. We were driving him to 26th Avenue, Vishnu, if you remember that day. And I remember that Mukunda Datta Prabhu was, he was there, and, I just said something like, I told her this, like, miss, my spiritual master, I said this, yes. My spiritual master, Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajagacharya, Ashtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, gave me the instruction to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets on the streets of the Western world. And, if he's happy, Krishna's happy, and if Krishna's happy, the whole world is happy. So can you please make the whole world happy by buying the Srimad-Bhagavatam set? She said, yeah, I'll do it. Excuse me, what? She said, yeah, I'll do it. I said, how much? I said, Mrs. The Bhagavatam set is 300 and the Chaitanya Charitamrita set is like 125. Yeah, sure. Do you take card? I said, yeah, miss, we take card. And then back then we used to have this, I guess we still have this. And then she immediately, like, instead of giving me like $425, she gave me $500 and a tip and bought the Bhagavatam on the spot. She bought the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I was in so much ecstasy. I was shocked. I'm like, wow, this is like, like you get high, you get high. This was like a high I'd never gotten. I was thinking like, bro, what did I eat? Like, what happened just now? What was it? But it was so amazing. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, this freaking lady, she got, and then after she bought it, and like, hey, how am I going to carry these books? I said, that's a good question. How are you going to carry these books? She's like, can I give you my house? No one does this in New York. Can I give you the address to my house and you can come and drop it off there? I said, yeah, do you live in Manhattan? Yeah, okay, I'll come and drop it off. And then I remember going to her house at night. And then, I went there with, who was with me? Yeah, we were all going, and then, I was so intoxicated. Huh? Right. There was one of my, I was so intoxicated on distributing this Bhagavatam. I literally thought she had a mailbox this big. And like for 30 seconds, I was trying to fit these books in a mail. I was thinking, bro, there's something wrong with me right now. Like, can you help me out, man? And then we somehow found her door. And then I thought, should I knock or should I call? I said, I'm just going to drop these books at her doorstep. And I just literally, I knocked at her door and she didn't open and she wasn't there or whatever, Saturday night, whatever. Right? Atma Nivedana Prabhu's program on Saturday night, right? So Saturday night, I just went and I piled up these books at her doorstep, And I went and I told Mr. Mukundatta Prabhu, and he was laughing and laughing and laughing. He was thinking like, what is this woman thinking? Like, she opens her door and she's going to find all these religious books in front of her in a language she doesn't speak. But, I was thinking, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. This actually happened. And I realized that it only happened because of the order of my spiritual master. I would have never, I'm like really dumb. I would have never in my life thought to have gotten out a Bhagavatam and like a Chaitanya Charitamrita set and shown it to a random white lady, like that, and I would have never, ever, especially karmically speaking, I would not even want to deal with that, But then I say, but my spiritual master, with the order of the spiritual master comes the potency to execute the order. It comes, and I experienced that and I was thinking like, wow, this is it. Vishnu is showing me, oh my God, it's 3 o'clock already. Okay, so what was I going to say? Okay, I'm sorry, I guess we're running out of time. But anyway, there's so many people that we meet, and one of the things, can we have just a little bit, Vishnu? I just want to finish a few things here. Please, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you all, Prabhujis. So anyway, I was thinking that, okay, I need to understand what to do. I was really praying, how to distribute these Bhagavatams more and more. And I was thinking that there needs to be like a technique that I could do. I could do myself, and I can teach others to do it, because you can't, if you want to teach someone, you need to know what to do. So then nowadays, actually what works a lot for us is, I just tell them the Bhagavatam, and I say, wow, my man, you like knowledge and happiness, blah, blah, blah. And then I show them the books, and I tell them, bro, these are like really ancient books, and they're originally written in this language called Sanskrit. And I show them the Devanagari, and I tell them, anything you need to know about spiritual life is right here in these books. And then I show them all the pictures in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. I show them this, every picture that's there, and they all find it really far out. I say, these are the best books in the whole world, man. You have to read these books. You have to get these, are really amazing. And then, I was just thinking how Srila Prabhupada is Sri Kala Gyan. Srila Prabhupada can see past, present, and future. And why would some mundane person insist that there's Sanskrit in these books? Who reads Sanskrit? We really don't. Why? But then, but Prabhupada insisted that it's there. So I show them the Sanskrit and I tell them, bro, these books are so amazing. And just by looking at these books, you can actually learn the Sanskrit language. And I show them this, the Sanskrit pronunciation guide in the back. And people are like, wow, really? I say, yeah, really. You can actually do this. You can do this yourself. Look, you can do this. You can actually look. And they see it. And so many people buy the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Just on the, right? Abhi, you've seen it with your own freaking eyes. It works. I can't believe it, but it actually works. It really works. It's worked so many times. And Trace, you can put one of the videos. And we have different kind of people that we approach. Sometimes we approach, you know what, you can, that guy, okay, hold on. Yeah, that's the guy. So this guy, right? He was, he's really, and some people like, yo, bro, like these books are like freaking amazing, bro. They help you unlock the pharaoh within you. And I just say like the craziest thing. So you can play this video. You'll see. Ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Bro, Hare Krishna, when I met my coolest homie right here, what's your name, my man?
Trent,
bro, tell him how you got the knowledge right here, bro.
I just walked up and he handed it to me, and I was willing to take it.
Bro, this guy is like on like this whole, he got like the lock of the prince. I told him, if you get this knowledge, you're going to unlock the pharaoh in you. And the guy got the whole Bhagavatam and the Saptarishi set.
Oh, boy.
Paid for the whole thing, my man. It's freaking amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, my man.
Jeez,
And my homie Tristan helped us out right there. Okay.
He's doing his thing back there.
Yeah, thank you. I was just, this is like a completely whacked out dude. Like, what 35-year-old guy has a shika growing from the side of his head? And I remember someone like, bro, I got it too, bro. And like I unlocked my shika and I showed it to him like, yo, you and me are the same, bro. You and me are the same. You're a spiritual guy. Bro, I got you and me right here, right now in this moment. Are you a pharaoh, bro? You don't know you're a pharaoh yet? You're going to unlock the pharaoh in you, man. Let's get real. Come on. And I showed him like the Sanskrit and all this. And like, all right, man, let's go. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. And he swiped his card and I was like shocked. Like, bro, did you really? I was thinking like, are you crazy, dude? Like, what's wrong? Like, did you really? He bought like the way, like Bhagavatam and the something. $377. Are you nuts? But anyway, this guy took it. I was shocked. I was like, bro, you got to be out of your freaking mind. I mean, I guess you and me are both crazy, bro. You got to take these books. And like he was walking around the freaking convention with the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita walking around like this. For the next whole day, I met this guy in the beginning of the day. For how long are the conventions? 8 hours, 10 hours? I don't know what the hell these people do there. But anyway, I was like, I'm so shocked. Are you freaking serious? But he did it. And like, sometimes when we're out in books, we also meet like a little, like bogus people too. It takes there's one with like the Mataji with the dreadlocks. Not that one. Okay, I guess I didn't. Okay, I guess keep going. No. Okay, anyway, I guess that's not there then. But anyway, sometimes we meet like these pseudo-spiritual people. And I remember I was in this a yoga convention with Matsya Prabhu. And there was like this Mataji who was like spiritual, she's really spiritual. And like, she's like, I'm a Reiki healer. Yeah, I posted this, I'm a Reiki healer. And like, she's like, okay, chill, what do you want? And then, she's like, I'm feeling like some energy. I said, miss, you actually feel the energy from these books, miss. And like, she kept her hands on the books and like, she was doing this whole bhav. And like, by the time she reached the bottom of the book, she started crying and all this. And like, wow, miss, you're going to buy these books? Yeah, I'm definitely going to buy these books. I'll be right back. And then like, I saw her at her booth and she never bought it. She was so phony, rascal. She didn't get it, But then that day in the yoga convention, and these are all Westerners. These are all like, there was one black guy and 9 white Matajis, okay? They all bought Bhagavatam sets. They all bought Bhagavatam sets that day. 10 Srimad-Bhagavatam sets for $300 each. That was amazing. They all bought the Bhagavatam. It was so ecstatic. And I did the same thing. I just showed them the books. I just, told them this, that, and the other thing. And I was just really praying to, Krishna in my heart. The shloka really helps me a lot. Vagisha yasya vadane, Lakshmi yasya shavakshisi, yasyaste hridaye samvet, tam nrsimha maham bhaje. This is a verse composed by Srila Sridhar Swami. And he writes it on the first verse of the 87th chapter in the prayers of the personified Vedas. This is how he opens up the chapter by quoting this verse that Vagisha yasya vadane, that Vagisha, the Supreme Personality of God, Nrsimha, he is Vagisha. He is the master of speech. Vagisha, yasya vadane. And upon his tongue, resides Divya Saraswati. Upon his chest resides Lakshmi, and within his heart is a sum with potency. And this shloka always works. And it's worked so much. And so many different kinds of people, like even this. Can you play this one? The one you're on right now? It's a really sweet guy. Eric? Hi. So he's the one who got the Bhagavatam today. So Eric, you please share a little bit of your experience.
Just hanging around these guys, they're the most genuine, soulful people. Just in a few minutes, I felt loved and cared for. I can't wait to read these books that they
That's
share.
awesome, man. You like the food more or the books more?
I like the food.
Oh, come on.
I gotta read the books, though. I gotta read the books.
That's right. You're right.
The food was amazing.
Awesome,
All
my
of it
man.
was beautiful.
Thank you, my man.
That's
Hare
right.
Krishna. And I was thinking really so much that, when we go out there on the streets and we don't see the body, but we actually see them as servants to Krishna. I mean, who would, honestly, who would have thought that guy has tattoos on his face? All over. Just, I think this part he didn't have, and on his eyes, I guess. But he has tattoos everywhere. Who would have thought that this guy would be going home with a set of Bhagavatam? I showed him like, yo, what's up, my man? This, that, and the other thing. And, I said, bro, and for some reason in my heart, I was like, bro, are you hungry, bro? He's like, yeah, actually, I'm a little hungry. And Kalki Prabhu made this nectarian, tomato rice. Right? That was it. Tomato rice with mango pickle. Oh, my Lord Chaitanya, that's so ecstatic. And I remember eating it, and I was like, this is so, man, bro, you want some, bro? And the guy ate it, and man, you know what? I've never felt so much love in my life before, man. You know what? What is this? What the books do you have? And I showed him the books, and he bought the whole set. He bought the whole set of Bhagavatam right there on the spot. It was so amazing. But, things like this are happening over, and not just to me. Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu, Bhakta Tyrese, Matsya Prabhu, so many of them are distributing Bhagavatam sets on the streets of Atlanta. And which Walmart were you? You met the whacked out dude with the hair. Yeah, in Tennessee, inside a Target in Tennessee. We go inside a Walmart with our Bhagavatams, and we sell the Bhagavatams to people who are shopping. It's ridiculous, but people are buying. So many people are buying. And I remember there's this one person I remember meeting. Okay, this is the last video, I promise. Is that okay? Okay. So anyway, I'm not going to ask. Better to ask forgiveness than permission, right? Bhagavati Prabhu. I learned it from Bhagavatam class this morning. So, I remember being in UNCC. What's that? University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And, okay, this is a really crazy one. Okay. Taste, do you mind sharing this one? I just sent you a picture. Yeah. So this guy was walking by. You can zoom in a little bit on it. Yeah, this is the guy walking by. And, his name is Tristan. He said, anyway, but how about the black person here on the side? And his name is Tristan. And he bought the Bhagavatam. And I'm not going to tell you the story. Can you play the first video? And it's not 8 minutes, Vishnu, just 2.5 minutes. So, yeah, the one all the way up there.
And I study computer science. So I met Abi and Maha while I was on campus at the student union, and I was just on my way home. And, I wear this out-of-the-world attire. So Maha saw me right away. He was like, hey, my man. He said, hey, my man, come here. I was like, oh, he got me. Because he knew I was going to say yes. He knew I was going to say yes right off the jump. So I came over there, talked to them. I met Abi. And, introduced me to the Hare Krishna. I didn't know anything about Hare Krishna. When I first heard Maha say, well, Hare Krishna, I thought he said Christian, like Christianity or something like that. I was like, Christian monks? But it was Hare Krishna. I was like, okay. And then he told me about the Srimad-Bhagavatam and stuff like that. And he said that, oh yeah, buy this whole set. And of course, I was already in that spiritual plane where I was speculating, trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening in the world, why am I seeing patterns? And, I stopped buying things. I just had no interest in buying things anymore, but I was interested in buying this. And I felt that within me. That's why I was, he was like $277, or it was 100. I can't remember. It was a price that a typical person would say, nah, I'm not getting this. I don't get this. But I was interested in it, and I noticed that. I noticed I've never been interested in something such a long time, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I bought the books, and then he also gave me the Bhagavad Gita and a couple of self-realization, a couple of other, books. So, and then, I got those books, and I read the first canto, the first one, and I was like, what? I was like, wow. I was like, I'm interested. I want to know more. And then after that, everything just took off from there. And that's how I ended up here. I got to hang out with everybody, got to meet China, I got to meet Trace, and I saw Maha again, Abi, and everybody. And it just felt amazing. The energy felt like I was in a hall of warriors. We just sitting down in a circle. We got this food. They come and ask, you want some more? You want some more? You want some more? I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. Arigato. So it's just been an amazing. I've never felt a brotherhood like this ever.
Anyway, there's more to that video, but yeah, who says that Prabhupada's book distribution doesn't work? Who says? This is Pratyaksha Pramana. Only fools and rascals, Pashanda Buddhi, those people who are atheistic, who have no faith in Srila Prabhupada, say that this book distribution doesn't work. This is Pratyaksha Pramana. Prabhupada said you keep distributing books and a temple will fall on your head. Look up. A temple fell on your head already. And it's going to get renovated soon, right, Vishnu? It's also going to get renovated soon. We just have to keep distributing books. Just by distributing books, all auspicious things come about. This is a yajna for this age. Anyone who's intelligent will know that this is a process which actually works. There is no higher, there's no higher ecstasy than this. There's no higher ecstasy than this, And all we have to do is simply serve the spiritual master. And by serving the representative of the of Prabhupada in our life, Prabhupada writes in one letter that because you are all grandchildren of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you are getting more mercy. He's giving you more mercy than I am giving you because you are his grandchildren. So similarly, being grandchildren of Prabhupada, this nectar of being the disciple of a disciple of Prabhupada, this nectar is a whole other rasa. It's so sweet, it's so amazing of getting the extra special mercy of Prabhupada. That's amazing, And we can see that, sometimes, so many people are like, oh, we're not going to report your scores because you're a rascal. I'm like, we are a rascal. But, but they don't report our scores and we may think, oh, are we not going to get recognition? But no, real recognition comes from the Guru Parampara. This is Parampara Jano Bhalo Mate. We must understand what the Parampara is. We should know this. And we have Pratyaksha Pramana. How do we know that Rupa Goswami is pleased with us? What is the most widely distributed book of Srila Rupa Goswami? Nectar of Devotion, right? Nectar of Devotion. And what's it called in Sanskrit? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is written by Srila Rupa Goswami himself. And I remember, I was, we were once in a particular place and we were meeting this devotee. And then, he actually had with him, and this is really amazing. So Vivek, this is the mind block I was going to talk to you about. So, he had with him, he actually had something very special with him. And he said, Prabhu, I've received this, but honestly, I don't think I deserve this. All of you devotees at Krishna Life who are working hard day in and day out, distributing Prabhupada's books, you deserve this. And this person happens to be a disciple of His Holiness Indrajumna Maharaj. And everyone knows Indrajumna Maharaj got the coolest stuff on the planet, like Narottam Das Thakur's shoes and Jiva Goswami's bead and all the most amazing stuff in the world he's got. So Indrajumna Maharaj actually went to the temple where the original manuscript of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is kept. And when they were opening the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, a small piece of the substance on which it was written had fallen down. And then he had taken that substance and he had torn it in half. And he gave this half to his disciple. And that disciple said, actually, I don't deserve to have the original piece of the manuscript of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All of you do. And he actually gave us the original manuscript, the small piece of the original manuscript of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Isn't that recognition of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada? Yes or no? Yes. This is it. This is Rupa Goswami personally recognizing the efforts of the book distribution which is going on. So who cares Who cares if someone pats your back or doesn't pat your back? Prabhupada knows how many books you're doing. The acharyas know everything. They know how much we're doing. And the sacrifice recognized. And Abu, you can take this around starting with, our esteemed guests, and take it around and make sure you give it back. And when it goes to the Matajis, Deja Mataji, please go around with it and make sure it returns here. There's the most sacred paraphernalia that a person could actually receive. And then, we may think it stops there, and we thought like, wow, this is amazing. And this is really amazing. And this is enough for us to completely be satisfied in our life. But, Prabhupada and all the previous acharyas are so merciful, that, after the biggest marathon we had ever had, I remember in this marathon, I think we did 387 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam, this Prabhupada marathon. And that was just a marathon. In the year, we did 981. And we received so many books, and it was such hard work. It was such hard work for us. So after that, then a Prabhupada disciple, she had her most valuable possession. My mother, Madan Mohan Mohini Mataji, in North Carolina, she actually had this most valuable position, and Vishnu Prabhu contacted her saying, I want to give gifts to the book distributors. Do you have something you could give? She said, I thought I'll never be able to part with this with my entire life, but she actually did. She actually had the original Madan Mohan Mohini Mataji, wife of Shivananda Prabhu. She actually had a piece of cloth that Srila Prabhupada is wearing in his samadhi right now. A piece of cloth that Srila Prabhupada is wearing in his samadhi. Is this not recognition from Prabhupada? Does anything else matter more than this? How many people get to have this? How many people get to? But Prabhupada came and he personally gave this to us through his representatives. How rare is this? Rishi, you can go around and you can show this. And this is so ecstatic. This is so ecstatic. The original piece of cloth that Srila Prabhupada is wearing in his samadhi right now, is present right here. How is this possible? It's possible because of the mercy of the Guru Parampara. That's how it's possible. Otherwise, it's not possible. And we may think, wow, that it ends there, and that's it. And that could be it. And that's like, this is enough to satisfy us for millions and billions of lifetimes, for sure. It certainly is. And Anaya Mataji, you can go around with this cloth and please return it. And, we see this, that this ecstatic, but it doesn't end there. When we were in, where were we? No, before that, Halloween. Okay, we usually don't do dumb stuff in a festival, but for some reason, our intelligence got clouded, and we did some really dumb stuff in a music festival, and we got kicked out, okay? So, we got kicked out of the music festival. I was wondering, what the heck, we paid a lot of money. Anyway, I don't even want to get into it. But we did really dumb stuff. So I was thinking, what happened to my brain? What was I thinking? And then, this was on the disappearance day. Yeah, I called up Vishnu, and Vishnu, Prabhu, we got kicked out of here. I guess we'll just work the Walmart, so we'll just, do something. He said, Prabhu, just come to New Talavan. Just come to New Talavan. All the devotees say, just come to New Talavan. I said, and as I'm just a big nasty demon all the time, and the person I give the worst time to is Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu. So no, we're going to stay and distribute books, Prabhu. And he said, I'm your temple. I don't know exactly what he said, but you have to come, right? You have to come. So I said, all right, I gave in. So then when we went, and what festival was it? The disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada? Yeah, it was the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. And that day, Dvibhuj Prabhu, who is the grandfather of our Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu, and Bhakti Jacob knows him very well, who's the grandson of Dvibhuj Prabhu, Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu. Dvibhuj Prabhu actually came and he gave us this. He gave us this. This is the Vishnu. What is? You want to explain it? This is the original mold. These are the original lotus feet imprints of Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Sadma. If we are not doing Kevala Bhakati, how will we get Shri Guru Charana Padma? How will they come? How will they? This book distribution is this. There are 2 molds in the whole world. There's only two or three molds in the whole world. This is one of the original molds where Srila Prabhupada placed his lotus feet on here for the mold. The other ones are replicated from this. So what are the chances? What are the chances? Did this come about because we were just like eating, sleeping, and not going out on books? No. Everything valuable comes from this. Prabhu, you can please take this around. Not really. And y'all may think this is it, but okay, no, this is it. Okay, this is we got these amazing, valuable gifts from the spiritual world that Srila Prabhupada is he's personally showing his appreciation. So whether it's not like you go to the spiritual world. Your name is not on this piece of paper here. Your name was not reported over here, and sorry about that. But no, this is recognition. This is recognition from Prabhupada. Who cares if we get recognition from others or not? The acharyas are recognizing. And it's due to the mercy of my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. I remember the day that I had distributed 4,092 books. That was like the best day of my life, actually. I remember, and it was so ecstatic. And, I thought, what should I do? And every time for some reason, every time I broke in the record, I would always meditate upon an Acharya. And this time, my spiritual master was here. I thought, I really have to do something special, for my Guru Maharaj. He's here. And then I thought, what should I? I should go out and distribute books. And then there's this really beautiful Ashtakam. It's called the Yatindra Ashtakam. These are 8 verses glorifying my spiritual master. And they're really beautiful. And I split up the entire day in 8 parts. And I was meditating upon, on each part of my book distribution, I was meditating upon each verse of this Ashtakam. And then that day, somehow or the other, the books were just flying out. Matsya Prabhu was there with me. Like, I request all devotees to shower their causeless mercy on Matsya Prabhu, because it's because of him it's because of Matsya Prabhu that all, he really assists me so much. And it was so ecstatic that day. The books were just flying out. They just happened to have wings, and people were buying 3, 4 Bhagavatam sets, so much everywhere. The books were just flying out, and then I was distributing Bhagavatam sets to people, and I would give them a whole box of small books. You look like a charismatic guy. You should distribute these books, and this and that. And it was so amazing that on the spot, people actually were buying these books, and they were becoming book distributors on the spot. Isn't that amazing? They give you $300 once for the Bhagavatam. I say, can you actually give me can you give me $900 more? I want to give you 3 more sets of Bhagavatam. Yeah, sure. I'll give you $900 more. People are giving $1,000, $1,200, just like this. Money was just falling from the sky, literally. It was so amazing. And people were buying books. And that day, I remember, at the end of the day, it was I collected about $17,000 just distributing Prabhupada's books. I was saying, what the heck is it? I remember Gaura Prabhu was asking, who's this devotee who sponsors all your books? I said, it's God, man. God sponsors all our books. Krishna, we have one sugar daddy, and his name is Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. That's our sugar daddy. We don't have a sponsor, actually. If we did, we'd wear a hat and a sign too. But we don't. We have to go out on the streets and slog it out. We have to go out on the streets. If we don't go out on the streets and slog it out, there is no hope. There is no hope of us actually able to break through. And it was so ecstatic. It was so amazing. And the books were just flying out. I remember at the end of the day, it was 4,088 books that I distributed. And then I was thinking, wow, this is great. Okay, I'm really exhausted. I'm going to see my spiritual master the next morning. And I was all psyched and all fired up for it. And then Chandan Acharya Prabhu comes through, and we were, cultivating this kind of, this guy. He seemed a little bit odd, But we just thought, he's just like an eccentric, crazy fool or something, So don't worry about it. Let's just, cultivate this guy. But then I just came back from books, and I just the first person I always see when I break a record is I go and see Vishnu. I see Vishnu Chitra Prabhu, And then I was there, and I was just lying down. I was like, Vishnu, I'm so exhausted, bro. I don't think I can even move. I can't even move right now. I'm so exhausted, And then Chandan Acharya Prabhu comes bro, and he said, Rob says, what exactly did he say? Yeah, he said, I want to kill everyone in this temple. And what did he say, Prabhu? He said, I want to kill everyone in this temple. I said, this guy is freaking nuts. This guy has to leave. So then We woke up Nally, and Chandanacharya Prabhu and myself, we escorted this guy. We didn't have to physically. We're like, wow, Rob, that's, you're really amazing, bro. You have to leave right now, bro. Please, Rob, please, can you leave right now? You're awesome, man. You gotta leave, man. Like, you're too advanced for us, bro. And like, all this stuff. And like, Rob, please, you have to leave. And then he was like, and he somehow, for some reason, he agreed. The potency was still there from book. Like, yeah, sure, I'll leave. And then we thought, yeah, Rob, we'll take you to a hotel and we'll drop you off there. Thank God this guy didn't have a car, right? So we went to this hotel, and like the whole time I was like a little like, yo, what's this guy gonna do? Is he gonna pull something on us or what? But this guy just like, we went, we dropped him off there, and then I was at 4,088 books, and there's like this black brother walking by. There's a black brother walking by. I say, yo, my man, excuse me, bro. I love your energy. It's got like a synergy to it, bro. Like, bro, when I see you, bro, I feel like you always had a passion for flashing before you had it. You close your eyes and imagine, my man. You look amazing, bro. And I was saying this, I was trying to sell him the Bhagavatam, and he was not buying. So now I told him, bro, like, why I want you to buy these books, bro? He said, why? I said, bro, it's the king of knowledge you don't get in college. It helps you distinguish reality from illusion and keeps you out delusion. It's pure and sublime. It's also got the rhyme. You just got to have the time, my man. I'm a monk, not a punk. I don't sell the books. Brother is taking the books, helping the brother out with the donation to help bring peace to this nation so you can help yourself with self-realization. He's like, yo, bro, just for those bars, bro, I got you, bro. I got you. I'm buy. How much? I got $20. What you got for me, bro? And then, then he gave me $20, and I sold him this. So the record went from 4,088 to 4,092. And that was such an ecstatic, and I was saying like, wow, that's freaking amazing, man. And then like the next morning, I remember being before Mangalati side, like, and my Guru Maharaj, would you like to lead? Would you like to lead Guru Maharaj? I said, no, you lead Guru Maharaj. I was thinking like, oh my God, I just slept like for 2 hours, man. So I thought, all right, let's do it. I started chanting, and then like, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, Yasya prasadat nagati kutopi. That. I was just thinking that, wow, this is so ecstatic. This is, I was chanting this, and I was really praying, like, Krishna, please kill me now. Please kill me now. Because I know for a fact that my spiritual master is praying. He was just like beaming. He was shining, he stayed up. He actually had stayed up until he got my book scores. I forgot to tell you this. But, Bhakti Krishna, he actually stayed up. He said, I'm not sleeping until Mahotsaha tells me his book scores. he told that this time, he's like, Prabhu, tell me your book scores. And Maharaj is refusing to sleep until he knows your book scores. I said, oh, okay, Prabhu. And I just calculated, and I sent it to him, and he's like, wow, this is amazing. And then he sent me like this really personal voice recording. I please excuse me, I do not want to share it publicly, but it was really awesome. He said, I was saying, this is ecstatic. And I was fortunate to wow, you did more books. And he was beaming, and I was saying, Krishna, please kill me now. Please kill me. But Krishna didn't. He is Swatantra Ishvara, clearly. So that happened, and it was so ecstatic. It was so ecstatic. And, we can see Prabhupada is certainly pleased, and, every time I'm a little bit low on the inspiration, I always try to remind myself, that this is what Prabhupada wanted. And I just play this thing, and I'll stop. Just 2 minutes. Prabhupada, I saw. Oh, no, not this. This is an advertisement on YouTube. Okay, no one understands Hindi, so it doesn't matter. Oh, my Lord. They're showing us meat right now. Demons. Okay.
I was obliged
Turn this up.
to come to this movement to take up this very seriously. And I was dreaming that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me. Please come out with me. So I was sometimes horrified. Oh, what is this? I have to give up my family life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me. I have to take sannyas. Oh, I was horrified. But I saw several times calling me. Anyway, it is by his grace I was forced to give up my family life and so-called business life. And he brought me somewhere or other in preaching his gospel. So, this is a memorable day. What he deserved, I am trying little bit, and you are all helping me. So I have to thank you more. You are actually representative of my Guru Maharaj. Because you are helping me in executing the order of my Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
This is like so ecstatic every time I hear it. It's so amazing. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, that if you simply build an ideal life on a mansion of books, the message of Bhagavad Bhakti will permanently remain in the sphere. So taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution, Ki Jai. So are there any questions or comments or corrections? It's just 5 minutes. Come on. Expand time or something. Okay. Yes, Brigupati Prabhu.
Prabhu, thank you for your talk, and thank you for being such an incredible example. I can only glorify you by saying something I heard you say in an interview. There was a time when nobody thought that you could break the 4-minute mile, right? And all the, for years it went on. All the, the track athletes, 4-minute mile, nobody could go. And then all of a sudden one day Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. And then when he did it, boom, 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 boom. Like in a short time, a lot of other runners broke the 4-minute mile because it was in the mind, it's the mental thing. So you're doing that, you're kind of like, you're broke, whatever it is, whatever the analogy is, the equivalent is, you've done it. And thank you for showing that example, that it can be done. Because I don't think anybody, still right now, I'm still going, is this for real? It's almost like am I dreaming? Or did somebody really do $17,000 worth of books in one day and 40 sets of Bhagavatams in one day? It's like unbelievable, but I believe you. So thank you very much for, giving us such an incredible example that, it's an inspiration to everybody. I don't know if any of us are ever going to be able to come to your level, but it's definitely, it's inspiring, right? And I'm sure I speak for all my God brothers here. Prabhupada would be pleased. You might not get official recognition.
No, I didn't.
But you got recognition. You got transcendental recognition, like I was saying this morning. And one last thing, just I heard Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I was watching his Memories of Prabhupada a couple days ago. And so he put books in a bookstore. And then Prabhupada asked him, so how are the sales going in the bookstore? And Gopal Krishna Maharaj says, well, Prabhupada, it's not happening. And Prabhupada said, these books are sold by the enthusiasm of my disciples. And then he paused, and then he repeated it. These books are sold by the enthusiasm of my disciples. So you are enthusiasm personified. And just in case, if anybody's feeling like overwhelmed, I can't talk like that. I can't talk like that. But just the principle is enthusiasm. Because Prabhupada said, these books are sold by the enthusiasm of my disciples. And nobody could argue this point. You got enthusiasm. And we know enthusiasm comes from, like you were saying, being a strict devotee. That's where the enthusiasm comes from. So, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, my Guru Maharaj, he's actually, he named me Mahotsaha Das, which means servant of one with great enthusiasm. So he's the one who actually has the great enthusiasm, and I'm just a servant. Okay. So it's his potency that's actually distributing the books. Daneshwar Prabhu, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I take the dust of your feet any day. It's simply amazing.
Please don't.
What you're able to do. Simply by, at least appears to me, by trying. And if I might be so bold to suggest how you can possibly maybe even do 10 times what you're doing.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Here's a suggestion. My first trip to Russia, I met a devotee who was probably the biggest distributor of books in Russia. And he had a very interesting technique that I don't know if we've tried here in the West, but you might consider this. What he would do, now in Soviet Union, The way everything was arranged, there would be like one factory or one farm, and the whole village, everything was built around that one place. And of course, we have a different arrangement for these things over here. But what he would do is he would go to the head of the factory, and he would convince the head of the factory to buy a Bhagavad Gita for everybody, all of the workers in the factory. That would mean everybody in the whole town would also get a Bhagavad Gita. So maybe you could go to Elon Musk or...
Yeah, every Tesla employee gets a Bhagavatam
there's
set.
Indian body people are running all the tech companies. And if you could convince them to take one for each one of their employees...
That would be ecstatic.
That would be wonderful.
If all of you could bless me to do that. With your order comes potency to do it. Jai. It's Anirudeshna Vapu, right? That's the name of the book distributor who did that.
I'm sorry?
The name of the book distributor who did that is Anirudeshna Vapu, Prabhu, right? That's Anirudeshna Vapu.
You probably remember better than I do.
Yeah. He's Anirudeshna Vapu. Yeah, he's a legend for sure. Anything else? No. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
I'm actually speechless to say anything about your amazing results. It's don't have any words to describe. But one thought came to me when, after serving at O'Hare Airport, helping Tripurari Swami's party in 1975 and 76, I was asked if I could help up in Ottawa, Canada, and Rupanuga Prabhu was our GBC there. And he told this little story that's not in the Lilamrita or anywhere else recorded. He said that when the first Bhagavad Gita was produced, it was sitting on the shelves of the temple. And Prabhupada said to Brahmananda Prabhu, who was the temple president at that time, why are you not distributing my Bhagavad Gita? And Brahmananda Prabhu said, we don't really know how to do that, Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, if you don't make the effort to distribute my Bhagavad Gita, you can go on with your Hari Hari Bol, and I will go back to India. Even I need to be inspired. And so you're really inspiring Srila Prabhupada. He's extreme. And he also told one other story. He said that Prabhupada would take his Bhagavatam set and he'd make some samosas before, and he'd go to the different bookstores and he would bring his Gitas and he would give a samosa to the store owner, and the store owners could understand this is not an ordinary author because he's giving me samosas. So these are just a couple of little book distribution related stories, but it's I feel ashamed to have taken initiation from Srila Prabhupada and not be as inspired as you are to distribute. I've done distribution over the years, but I'm not steady like Adikarta or Brigopati, what to speak of your whole crew here. But I feel like I'm getting a new lease on life. So thank you so much.
Well, there's only one Mahotsaha.
There's actually a few of them.
There's only,
I've seen them on Facebook.
You know, we can't
one from
really
DC.
imitate you, but I think that anybody who goes out and books, even if you don't do very well, even if you only do a few magazines, you're very pleasing to your guru or to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada quoted his guru, you know, when a brahmachari or somebody went out and sold a few magazines, he was very happy. So you're a unique person, and you prove that, you know, having faith in the Guru is the most important ingredient for success in spiritual life. So, you know, Guru Nista, so people can say what they like about, you know, the Gurus.
Yes.
But you prove that, you know, having a living Guru to serve, to inspire you is the most important ingredient in spiritual life. So thank you very much.
Okay.
I wish I could do what you could do. I can't do.
Anyone can do, because I'm not doing
But
it.
you got to keep it up.
Yeah, you're doing way better, actually.
You gotta
If you
do it.
compare your lifetime scores and mine, nowhere close. Brigavati Prabhu is like a millionaire in the book point, Loka. So
I'm not Brigapati. Anyway, thank you so much.
you made book distributors, so that's more valuable.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yeah. It
I
was,
do it because I like. Anyway, I'll give my class tomorrow.
okay.
I won't say everything now. All right.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. Everything revolves around seven dispatches. That's why I wake up every morning with this. Is it going to play?
There is no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru.
That's my ringtone, alarm tone every morning. There's no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru. Okay, so I'll have to. Okay, Mataji's. Okay, no. Okay. Srimad-Bhagavatam,